You are sitting on a bench outside the DMV office. It is 12:30 in the afternoon. You took your lunch break to come here. You have your number. They said the wait is 45 minutes. You check your phone to pass the time. There's a text message from a number you do not recognize. It says, your driver's license has been flagged in a new state database and that you may need to take action to avoid suspension. You stare at it. You do not know if this is real. You do not know if it is a scam. You do not know if there actually is a new system that flags licenses automatically. And if there is, you do not know what it is checking for or whether your license is in it. You look up at the DMV doors. You are about to walk in there and you do not know what to ask, what to say, or whether the person behind that counter has information that could affect not just your driving privileges, but something connected to your immigration file. Because here is what most immigrant drivers do not know. In 2025 and 2026, several states activated new real-time driver license verification systems that cross-reference your license against multiple databases the moment it is scanned, by a police officer, by a federal agent, by a state agency, or by any entity with authorized access. What those databases contain and what gets flagged depends on your state, your license type, and what information was submitted when you applied. Most people do not know this system exists. Most people do not know what it checks. And most people do not know that there are specific steps to protect themselves right now, before a flag becomes a problem. What an immigration and traffic law attorney charges $300 per hour to walk you through is sitting right here. Stay with me. I am Jacob, and I reviewed the official documentation on state DMV real-time license verification systems, the REAL ID Act compliance requirements, DHS database integration with state motor vehicle records, and your legal rights when your license is flagged or suspended. Everything here comes directly from DHS.gov, your state DMV published policy, and the REAL ID Act of 2005 as enforced in 2025 and 2026. Before we go through this, state license systems are being updated and integrated with federal databases faster right now than at any point since REAL ID was first passed. Most drivers do not find out their license has been flagged until a police officer or a federal agent tells them in person. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so updates reach you before they reach your license record. And join our WhatsApp community, link in the description, where we share confirmed DMV and immigration updates the moment they are verified. Now let me show you exactly what this new system checks and what your rights are. Here is what is actually confirmed under federal law and current state policy. The REAL ID Act of 2005, enforced by DHS, established minimum security standards for state-issued driver's licenses and ID cards. Under REAL ID, states are required to verify the authenticity of documents submitted during license applications, including proof of identity, proof of lawful status, proof of social security number, and proof of state residency. States are also required to check applicants against the SAVE system, the Systematic Alien Verification for Entitlements database, which verifies immigration status for non-citizen applicants. This database check happens at the time of application and can be re-triggered when your license is renewed or when your record is queried by an authorized agency. In 2025, several states, including Texas, Florida, Georgia, and others, activated enhanced real-time license status systems that allow law enforcement and state agencies to query a driver's license record and receive an immediate status response, including whether the license is valid, suspended, expired, or flagged for a verification issue. These systems are integrated with state DMV databases, the SAVE system, and in some jurisdictions with additional federal law enforcement databases through DHS partnerships. Here is what is being shared in community groups that is not accurate. There are posts saying that every time a police officer scans your license plate, your immigration status is automatically checked and reported to ICE. That is not how the system works in most jurisdictions. A license plate scan through an ALPR system returns vehicle registration data, not personal immigration records, unless a specific flag exists in a law enforcement database. There are also posts saying that immigrant drivers who have licenses issued under state laws for undocumented individuals, like AB 60 in California or similar laws in other states, are automatically entered into federal immigration enforcement databases. That is also not confirmed as current policy. What is confirmed is that the type of license you hold, REAL ID compliant or not, determines what databases were checked when you applied and what federal systems can access your record. Knowing the difference protects you. Now let me break down exactly what this system checks, what it flags, and what your rights are at each stage. The first thing the system checks is your license validity status. And this is where most automatic flags originate. Your license can be flagged as invalid in the real-time system for reasons that have nothing to do with a traffic violation or an immigration issue. Common triggers include an expired license that was not renewed on time, a failure to update your address with the DMV after moving, required by law in most states within a specific number of days, an unpaid traffic fine or court fee that triggered an automatic suspension, a lapse in your vehicle insurance that was reported to the DMV by your insurer, or a medical hold placed on your record by a doctor who reported a condition to the DMV as required in some states. If you receive any notification, by text, by mail, or from a law enforcement officer, that your license has been flagged or suspended, the first step is to go directly to your state DMV website or call your state DMV line and say exactly this: I want to check the current status of my driver's license and the reason for any flag or suspension on my record. My license number is your number. Do not call a third-party service. Do not pay a consultant to check your license status. Your state DMV website allows you to check your own license status for free. Immigration attorneys charge $275 per hour to make this exact inquiry for clients. You now have the same access. The second thing the system checks is your Real ID compliance status, and this directly affects immigrant drivers. Under the Real ID Act enforcement timeline as of May 7, 2025, a Real ID compliant license or ID is required for domestic air travel and access to certain federal facilities. A standard non-Real ID license remains valid for driving purposes but will not be accepted for federal purposes. For immigrant drivers, particularly those with work visas, green cards, or licenses issued under state programs for mixed status applicants, the question of whether your license is Real ID compliant depends on what documents you provided when you applied and whether your immigration status was verifiable through the SAVE system at the time. If your license is marked as not Real ID compliant, usually indicated by the absence of a gold star on the upper right corner of your license, and you need to travel domestically or access a federal building, you can upgrade your license to Real ID compliant at your state DMV by presenting the required documents. Those documents include proof of identity such as a valid passport or birth certificate, proof of your social security number, proof of your lawful immigration status if you are a non-citizen, and 2 proofs of your state residency. The specific documents accepted vary by state and are listed on your state DMV website. The third thing the system checks is your immigration status verification through the SAVE database. And this is the check most immigrant drivers do not know is happening. When you apply for a driver's license as a non-citizen, your information is submitted to the SAVE system, which checks your immigration status against DHS records. If the SAVE system cannot verify your status because of a data entry error, a name mismatch, a pending case, or a status change that has not yet been updated in DHS records, your license application or renewal can be delayed or denied pending manual verification. If your license renewal is delayed because of a SAVE verification issue, you have the right to request a secondary verification review. The process is documented at save.ccis.gov. You can also contact USCIS to ensure your immigration record reflects your current status accurately. Say to the DMV officer, I am requesting a secondary SAVE verification under DHS SAVE program procedures. My immigration document number is your document number. That request puts your inquiry into the formal secondary review process rather than leaving it as an unresolved flag. Never simply accept a rejection or delay without asking what the specific reason is and what the secondary review process is. Consider what happens when someone does not know this right. A green card holder applies to renew her driver's license. The SAVE system returns a tentative non-confirmation because her name on her green card is slightly different from her name as entered in the DMV system, a middle name that appears on one document but not the other. The DMV clerk tells her the system could not verify her status and she should come back with more documents. She does not know about secondary SAVE verification. She leaves. She misses work for 3 days trying to gather additional documents. The entire issue was a data matching discrepancy that secondary verification resolves in 48 hours through a direct DHS record check. That outcome was completely avoidable with one sentence. The fourth thing to understand is what happens when your license is flagged during a police stop and how that connects to your immigration file. If a police officer scans your license and the system returns a flag, for any reason, the officer may extend the stop to investigate the flag. Under the Fourth Amendment, as interpreted in Rodriguez v. United States decided by the Supreme Court in 2015, a police officer cannot extend a traffic stop beyond the time necessary to address the original reason for the stop, unless there is independent reasonable suspicion of additional criminal activity. A license flag for an administrative reason, unpaid fine, address mismatch, insurance lapse, is not by itself grounds for an extended immigration inquiry in most jurisdictions. What you say if an officer tells you your license came back flagged is exactly this. Officer, I was not aware of any issue with my license. I will contact the DMV immediately to resolve it. I am invoking my right to remain silent beyond that. Am I free to go? That response is calm, cooperative on the administrative issue, and protective of your broader rights at the same time. Never say, "I think it is flagged because of my immigration case." Never volunteer that your license is a restricted license issued under a program for undocumented drivers unless the officer specifically has that information already. Do not add information to a police stop that was not already present in the system. The fifth thing to understand is your right to a hearing before your license is suspended or revoked. In every state, a driver whose license is suspended or revoked has the right to an administrative hearing to contest that action. Under due process principles codified in state DMV administrative procedures, you must be notified of a suspension before it takes effect, with limited exceptions for certain serious offenses, and you have a specific window to request a hearing. If you receive a suspension notice, request the hearing within the window stated on the notice. At that hearing, you can present evidence that the suspension was based on incorrect information: a resolved fine, a corrected insurance record, a save verification error. Here is your exact step-by-step plan right now. Step 1. Check your driver's license status today. Go to your state DMV website and search your license status for free using your license number. Do not wait to find out from a police officer or a system flag. Step 2. Check whether your license is Real ID compliant. Look at the upper right corner of your license for a gold star or the words Real ID. If it is not Real ID compliant and you need it to be, schedule a DMV appointment and bring the required documents. Step 3. If your license renewal is delayed because of a save verification issue, say to the DMV officer, "I am requesting a secondary save verification under DHS Save Program procedures. My immigration document number is your number." Step 4. If a police officer tells you your license came back flagged, say exactly this: "Officer, I was not aware of any issue with my license. I will contact the DMV immediately to resolve it. I am invoking my right to remain silent beyond that. Am I free to go?" Step 5. If you receive a suspension notice, request a DMV administrative hearing within the window printed on the notice. Present documentation showing the reason for the suspension is resolved or incorrect. Step 6. Never respond to text messages or emails claiming your license has been flagged and asking you to click a link or pay a fee to restore it. Check your license status only through your official state DMV website or by calling your state DMV directly. Here are the free resources that support everything in this video. To check your license status, your state DMV website, search your state name plus DMV license status check. Real ID information and requirements, dhs.gov/realid. Save secondary verification process, save.uscs.gov, ACLU Know Your Rights during police stops, aclu.org, Know Your Rights, National Immigration Law Center, nilc.org, Immigration Legal Aid by Location, immigrationadvocates.org, BIA Accredited Representatives, justice.gov, EOIR recognized organizations. One important warning before I close: there are scam text messages and emails going out right now telling drivers, specifically in immigrant communities, that their license has been flagged in a new federal system, and that they must pay a fee online or call a number immediately to prevent suspension. The DMV does not notify you of a flag by text message from an unknown number. The DMV does not ask for payment through a text link. If you receive a message like this, do not click any link, do not call the number in the message, and do not provide any payment. Check your license status directly at your official state DMV website. Report the scam text to reportfraud.ftc.gov. Now I want to hear from you. Did you know your license is checked against a federal immigration database when you apply or renew? Is your license Real ID compliant? Drop your question in the comments below. And tell me, in which country are you originally from, and which state are you driving in right now? Your question may become the next video on this channel. I am Jacob. You have rights in this country. Knowing them is not defiance, it is protection. Take care of yourself.